Assalamualaikum everyone, my name is NURUL ALIFAH binti BURHAN and my nomenclature is 1240933. Today I will explain 3 important media effect theory in communication, which are the first one, hypodermic needle theory, and the two-step flow theory and the selective exposure theory. This theory help us understand how mass media influence people's tongue, attitude and behavior. Even though this theory was developed many years ago, they are still relevant in understanding how media works in modern society today, especially with social media and digital communication. First, the hypodermic needle theory suggests that media has a strong and direct influence on the audience. It assumes that people are passive and accept whatever the media tells them. The second one is the two-step flow theory, argues that media influence is not direct, instead the message passed through opinion leader who then influence others in their social groups. And the third one, the selective exposure theory, explains that people actively choose their media consumed based on their belief and preference. They prefer information that support their existing views and avoid information that makes them uncomfortable. Together, these 3 theories show us that media influence is not simple, and we can see how people respond to media in different ways. Now I will explain to you guys one by one about these 3 theories. The first one is hypodermic needle theory, that is known as magic bullet theory 2. This theory developed in the early 19th and is closely linked to Harold Laswell, especially from propaganda study during World War I. This theory believes that media messages are directly injected into the minds of the audience, just like the needle injecting medicine. The audience is seen as passive and powerless. Everyone who receives the message react in the same way. This theory explains why researchers believe that media had a very powerful effect on society. But this theory has been critiqued. Researchers later critiqued this theory for being too simple and unrealistic. People are not robots. They think, discuss and question media message. Studies also show that media does not always have the same effect on everyone. Now we move on to the second one, which is two-step flow theory. This theory was introduced by 3 people, which is Paul Lazarsford, Bernard Berelson and Hazel Gaudet in 1944. They discovered that people were influenced more by personal discussion than by newspaper or radio. So they introduced the idea that media message first reached the opinion leader, and then this opinion leader passed the information to the others. This means media influence is indirect and works through social relationship. But this theory has a controversy. Some scholars argue that communication does not always follow only 2 steps. In reality, it can involve many people and many channels. Today, with social media, people often receive information directly without opinion leaders. And now the last one, which is selective exposure theory. The selective exposure theory was developed by Leon Festinger in 1957 as part of his cognitive dissonance theory. This theory explained that people prefer information that match their existing belief and avoid information that makes them uncomfortable or challenge their opinion. The audience is seen as active and selective. People control what they want to watch, read and follow. But this theory has been critiqued. These critics argue that people cannot always avoid unwanted information, especially in modern media. Algorithms and advertisements expose people to content even if they not choose it. So now you have heard all the theory, and now I want to give you all the conclusion. In conclusion, the hypodermic needle theory showed the power of media. The two-step flow theory showed the importance of social influence, and the selective exposure theory showed the role of individual choice. Together, this theory help us understand that media effects are complex. In today's digital world, where people are constantly exposed to information, this theory remains highly relevant in explaining how communication shape our society. So, thank you for listening. Bye!